This message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. Does telling people about my goals make it less likely that my goals are going to happen? Let's discuss. So today and tomorrow, I'm going to be starting a discussion about something that I know often weighs on people's minds when they embark on their new big goal: learning a new language, writing a book, starting a business. Who do I tell and when? And it's one of those quotes that I often see thrown around the internet, all different variations of it, and I'm sure you've seen some version of it before yourself. Don't tell people what you're doing until it's done. Outside energy can throw you off your goals. Keep it private until you make it. And so today, I really want to explore the wisdom in that idea, but also the danger in it, and try to come to some sort of a compromise. And this really is a conversation that I'm starting here, so I'd love to encourage you to share your thoughts and your stories about this in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. So first of all, let's have a quick look at the general landscape that these sorts of quotes come from. As far as I can see, there are two main schools of thought here that could lead us to the conclusion that the act of telling someone our biggest personal goals makes it less likely that those goals will really, genuinely come to fruition. Now, the first issue is, as we've no doubt seen in our own lives, telling people what we want to achieve in life can open the doors to all sorts of unsolicited advice and opinions. And if that happens often enough, or it catches us on a bad day, it can quite seriously derail us on our journey. And that is going to be the focus of my video tomorrow. The second idea is that sharing our goals publicly makes us less likely to stick to them. If we look at the work of Derek Sivers, who did a fantastic 2010 TED Talk, which I've linked in the description below, about why we should keep our goals to ourselves, he argues that telling someone our goal can trick the mind into believing that it's already done. In short, the pride of telling people what we are hoping to do and the potential praise and admiration from their side can trick the mind into prematurely feeling satisfied that we've already done the work. And if we hadn't told anyone, he argues, that satisfaction would only be activated by, actually doing the work. He calls this creating a social reality. When we tell people about this goal, we're already getting acknowledgement for the goal. Whether that is praise in person, social media likes, you're being introduced to other people as Emily, the author. Emily, she speaks Spanish too. And that is already making huge strides in constructing the social reality of being the language learner or the author. And so then, in your own head, you're creating this image of yourself as the language learner, the author, the marathon runner. But he says that that can trick your mind into believing that the acknowledgement was equal to progress towards that goal. And with that acknowledgement in mind, you're less likely to do the uncomfortable lessons and the practice and the training and the creating, because your mind tells you that you've done enough already. And so he says, keep it to yourself until it's done. And that makes a lot of sense, but this idea doesn't sit right with me as the whole story. Because I think more often than not, what scares us away from our goals is loneliness, is isolation, and is the feeling that what we want just isn't possible for us. I think we need accountability. We need outside perspectives. And community is absolutely the best shield against feeling alone in the world and feeling alone in our big ventures. When you're feeling lost, so many breakthroughs come from the right conversation with the right person. And I can't imagine ever advocating that anyone keeps their goals as secrets until they can emerge with the whole thing done, so that people can praise them, once they've recovered from the shock, for their resolve and determination. So if the social reality idea resonates with you, maybe you've experienced it in your language learning or fitness or creative goals before, but you don't want to do this whole thing by yourself, how are we going to navigate that? And I think the answer is tell the right people. Firstly, tell people within our new community. Connect on social media, maybe even create a social media account just for your language learning, your marathon training, your business, to make sure that you're making those connections away from your friends and your family. You can join online or in-person conferences, meetups, because that community won't just congratulate you on your goal and then move on. Being around the people in that community will renew your inspiration and give you fresh ideas about your own goals, while you see people around you also making steps towards theirs. And that can be really powerful. Or number 2, tell people in your immediate circle who will really hold you accountable. The ones who will sincerely ask you how it's going regularly and then actually listen to your answers. And number 3, separate your goal from any social metrics, things like likes, shares, retweets, because the amount of engagement your online accountability account, Studygram, whatever it is, will go up and down with the algorithm and all other kinds of factors. But it doesn't mean that your goal is any less valid during the down periods. And it's really important that your motivation is not tied to those sorts of fleeting likes. Number 4. Set really clear goals. If your ultimate big goal was to learn Spanish and your short-term goals are watertight, you can tell as many people as you want and get as many likes as you want. But if you have a time-sensitive place you want to be, and you're not there because you've been too busy parading around, asserting your new Spanish-speaking identity, you will be acutely aware that you haven't put the work in that you set out to. You can't miss it, no matter how much everybody else tells you you're great. So language learners, please never feel like you have to do this alone. If we go back to our initial sort of quote outline, don't tell people what you're doing until it's done. Outside energy can throw off goals. Yes, the wrong outside energy definitely can throw off goals, but so can the wrong inside energy. And this is important. The right outside energy can take you to places with your goals that you would never have imagined by yourself. The right outside energy can keep you going when it all seems futile and all seems really hard. And the right outside energy can ward off the inside energy that can and does also throw you off your goals. So find community, find support and inspiration in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Do it alone if you want to, but don't do this lonely, because the language learning world needs your voice in it. And if you'd love some encouragement and some company while you study, I would love to invite you to join me every week and co-work and study with me and my Patreon community. We also have a monthly meetup to all get together and just chat about language, productivity, and the world. We co-work every week in the creative space, so you'll never have to do this alone. And if you have a question that you want answering, there's also a monthly Q&A where you can get personalized advice from me. So check it out. There are 3 different tiers and payment points, and I would love if you can come and join me. The link is in the description. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here to continue talking about this tomorrow.